Today, we're looking at a really fascinating startup pitch called AgroIndia, and it's tackling a huge, kind of hidden problem in Indian agriculture. 15,000 crores. That is the estimated economic loss every single year from farmlands that's just not being used to its full potential. And get this, that's just from two states in India, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It's an absolutely staggering amount of value just sitting there. So you have to ask, right? In a world filled with amazing technology, why is this happening? Why is so much incredibly valuable agricultural land being left behind? Well, the answer reveals this really deep and honestly surprising paradox. To really get to the bottom of it, we need to explore what's being called India's agricultural paradox. So let's break down what's at the core of this whole problem. Okay, so who actually owns all this farmland today? Well, as you can see here, there's been a massive generational shift. A whopping 60% of this land is now owned by second or third generation heirs. We're talking about software engineers, doctors, people with professional jobs in the cities who have basically zero background in farming. And that creates, well, a perfect storm of problems. First, you've got a huge knowledge deficit. That traditional farming wisdom is just gone. Then, these new owners have really demanding careers, so time is a huge issue. On top of that, there's a labor shortage because workers are moving to cities for other jobs. And most critically, there's just no easy way for a landowner to get good, solid advice for their specific piece of land, which leads to this massive technology gap. It's a really complex crisis, for sure, but this is where the story takes a turn. This is where technology steps in with a pretty slick AI-powered solution. It really boils down to this beautifully simple three-step process. First, the landowner just opens up an app and literally draws a box around their plot of land on a map. Second, the platform goes to work, automatically pulling years and years of historical satellite data for that exact spot. And third, the AI engine crunches all those numbers and gives you a custom report with recommendations. AgroIndia actually offers two levels of service. So Tier 1 is the do-it-yourself digital platform we've been talking about, the app that gives you all that cool AI analysis. But for people who want to go deeper, there's Tier 2, called Agro Consulting Plus. This is the hands-on service. We're talking on-field soil testing, setting up smart sensors, and even personal consultations with real agricultural experts. Let's move on and look at the business of growth. Their target customer is actually really specific and pretty diverse. The biggest slice of the pie, 40%, is exactly who we talked about, tech professionals who've inherited land. Then you have Indians living abroad trying to manage farms from a distance, forward-thinking farmers who love technology, and even big agricultural investment firms who need data on a massive scale. What makes their business model so strong is that they're not just relying on one thing. They have a bunch of different ways to make money. Those recurring subscriptions for the app, one-time fees for consulting and setting up a smart farm, ongoing support contracts, and even commissions from partnerships with suppliers. Let's look at how AgroIndia really aims to cultivate a better future by focusing on its wider impact. First off, let's talk about jobs. The plan is to create over 500 new high-skill jobs for agricultural graduates. This could be a game changer, maybe even reversing that brain drain from rural areas and creating modern careers right in the heart of the agricultural sector. Next up, the impact on the land itself. They're projecting an average productivity boost of 40% for their users. I mean, think about that. That means getting significantly more food and value from every single acre, all by making smarter, data-backed decisions. And here's where it really hits home, the impact on people's lives. This all translates to an estimated income increase of about 50,000 rupees per year for each family. That's what makes farming profitable and truly sustainable again for them. So, at the end of the day, this is about so much more than an app or a balance sheet. It's a real attempt to fix a fundamental disconnect, to build a bridge between a new generation of landowners, powerful modern technology, and the ancient vital practice of agriculture.